Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the apparel and accessories niche. Created in June 2014, this business makes $1,914 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 45652. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. John, thank you for coming on here today. How are you doing?
Great, Jake. Glad to be here.
It is my pleasure having you on here. I think I told you this before, but I write the listing descriptions for the new listings, and your business is really interesting in what you're selling, and I'm excited to discuss it with you. Before we dive into the questions that I have for you, though, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business. Again, it was built in March of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $7,161, expenses of $5,247 to make for net profit of $1,914, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the Seller Central account with 4 SKUs, domain and all-site content and files, and 2 additional domains. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. John, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. So this business was actually my first foray into e-commerce. It was started with a friend of mine as kind of a proof of concept. And we really enjoyed learning about Amazon and getting it up and running. It's a pretty unique and cool product that we were able to sell for the past 4 years. It's gotten to the point where we both have full-time jobs and we have other things going on in our life, and this is a pretty passive business. We don't put a lot of time in it per year. We're looking at like a 40-hour a year maintenance. So it's just at the point where it's not something that we need to focus on.
So if it's not something that you need to focus on to maintain, and as you said, you're working 40 hours a year, so really less than 1 hour every single week on it, why have you decided to sell it today?
It's just, honestly, we just have other things going on in our lives. I'm getting married this year, trying to buy a house. My other buddy, he's also in the same boat. So yeah, it's just at the point, we're not doing it the service it deserves. If the right buyer came along, they could do a lot with it. There's a lot of potential opportunity. We just aren't putting any effort in, and it seems like a disservice to the business. So
yeah, and that's certainly fair. If you are talking about it and you see this amazing potential, and we'll get to opportunities in a little bit, it makes sense to want to pass it off to someone who can grow it. So that does make me wonder then, what do you do in that 40 hours per year, or about 1 hour a week?
The main thing is running numbers to reorder the product, working with a supplier to create the order, scheduling inspection, arranging the shipments to be inbound to FBA. The PPC, running advertising reports and just adjusting as necessary. It's pretty much autopilot, but it helps to check every few months to make sure there's nothing wildly off track. I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
And then you mentioned that you're not the only one working on it, correct?
Yeah, so this business is with a partner and I.
But it doesn't require any other employees beyond you two, the owners?
No. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we could do a lot more. We have a Shopify site. We could route traffic to it. We could do Google AdWords. We just haven't done any of that.
You have a few domains here. One of them has a Shopify store set up, and then 2 additional domains. Can you talk about the strategy there and what those domains accomplish?
So the domains are just to have relevancy for the product. So we are brand registered. We got a domain so that we could get the trademark and the brand registry set up with Amazon. Yeah, we have the website. It has content on there. We just never focus on driving traffic to it to get any sales. So yeah, I guess the strategy is just to have an online presence, but we really have not capitalized on it.
So you have brand registry, the 2 Shopify sites, or the 1 Shopify site with the additional domains is clearly an opportunity for growth for the business. But, when you look at the numbers for the prior year, something you notice is that June is the highest month of the year by far. So is that normal for the business? Is it something that can be replicated?
Yeah, that's extremely normal. It's a seasonal product. It's summer based, so June's always our biggest month by far. And then in fall, September, October also has a spike, but the main spike is summer. It's mostly a summer product. Yeah, and that's repeated year after year. I think we're on our 4th year now, and it's been consistent.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel are some of the major opportunities for growth for this business?
I think just actually dedicating time to it would be a huge opportunity. It's hard to, without explaining what the product is, there's other similar variations you could do, and you could branch out to hit other markets. There's also a ton of additional accessories you could create to go along with the line of the original product. Yeah, I don't want to give it away, but yeah, there's all sorts of accessories you could expand the brand into. So you could have branch it into 30 SKUs instead of the 4.
Yeah, the products themselves certainly lend themselves to have easy additional products added here. And so you feel that then creating those SKUs, distributing in other markets can be an opportunity for growth. Would you focus on the Shopify site if you had more time with the business?
Sure. Yeah, AdWords would be the first thing we would do. Yeah, that would be a great upsell.
So when you were getting started with this business, why did you settle upon Amazon FBA rather than start off with something like your own e-commerce platform?
At the time, e-commerce was completely new to us. We hadn't ever explored selling online. We started with our own domain and we didn't see any luck. And we tried eBay first and we didn't have any luck with eBay. And then we tried Amazon and the product took off. And once we actually resisted using the FBA model for probably about a year and a half. And then we decided, well, what if it's worth giving up some of the FBA fees in exchange for a completely passive business? And once we did FBA, we never looked back. So yeah, it's very appealing that it's extremely passive.
Do you feel like there are any risks involved with Amazon FBA or this particular business that a new owner should be aware of?
It's pretty straightforward. There is some competition, but we have the best name for the product and the best photos by far and the most reviews by a very, very healthy margin. So yeah, the only major obstacle would be competitors, but there's been, I would say, 8 consistent competitors for years, and we always crush them every year. So yeah, that's the only major risk I can think of.
Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, definitely.
And how much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
I would be willing to offer Skype calls, support, create standard operating procedures, any materials that they need. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, but I'd be willing to help with whatever they deem necessary, any questions they have.
Are you open to negotiating on something like an earnout?
I would certainly be open to it. I prefer to sell it at our asking price, but if there's the right offer, I'd be willing to entertain whatever comes along.
Awesome, John. Thank you very much for taking the time to be on here with me today. Before I let you go, I have one final question for you. So let's just pretend here that you are looking at this business from the perspective of a buyer. Why do you feel like this would be an asset worth buying?
I think the biggest perks are that it's, 40 hours a week. You could do way more with it. There's a ton of opportunity.
40 hours a year.
Sorry, 40 hours a year. Excuse me. There's a ton of opportunity. There's a ton of potential. I think it's a cool product, in my opinion. So that makes it something that's unique and something you can brag to people if you own the business. So yeah, I think it's just a very fun niche that any buyer would be excited to see.
Thank you very much, John, for taking the time with me today. I've loved having you on here today.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you are watching this on the listing page and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.